Today is the last day of early voting, and if the numbers indicate anything, there is a lot of interest in Proposition 1.
Yeah, it's going to determine whether ride-sharing companies are going to have to undergo mandatory fingerprint background checks for their drivers. Kate Whitehall is live at one of the more popular voting locations, the Travis County Clerk's Office in Central Austin, to break down those numbers for us this morning. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning. You could say that both sides of this issue really are in the final push to get voters to the polls because Uber and Lyft have threatened to leave Austin if voters decide to vote down Proposition 1. So let's take a look at how the early voting numbers are stacking up right now. So far, nearly 44,000 people have voted, and we still have 1 day to count. We looked into the last time there was a Saturday election, and that was back in 2013 for an AISD bond worth $892 million. And during that time, a little over 19,000 people casted a vote early. And there's been a really big push to get you to the polls. Uber and Lyft have spent more than $5 million in advertising, whereas the other side, the Political Action Committee called Our City, Our Safety, Our Choice, has received donations totaling about $88,000. Now, those four, Prop 1, say millions of dollars were needed to make sure voters understand what they call deliberately confusing ballot language. So here's how it all works. A vote for Prop 1 means that you think drivers should stick to the standard criminal background checks without getting fingerprinted. Voting against it means you want drivers to get fingerprinted. Former Austin Mayor Lee Leffingwell says because light rail failed with voters, this is the next best option.
But now we have TNCs, which will definitely increase mobility for people across the city and improve our transportation options, and it doesn't cost taxpayers any money. It's free, and it's an improvement in our mobility, and we ought to take it.
But current Mayor Pro Tem Kathy Tovo believes every driver for hire in the city should be required the same standard, which is fingerprint background checks.
You know, we require that for individuals who are driving people around on pedicabs. I mean, that is a standard practice that we use for all drivers of any kind of vehicles for hire in the city of Austin. The ordinance that we adopted would simply bring TNC drivers into that same consistent body of regulations.
But ultimately, you get to decide, and early voting begins this morning at 7 o'clock. Remember, this is the last day for it. Runs till 7 o'clock tonight. Then Election Day is this coming Saturday. For now, we're live in Central Austin. Kate Whitehall, KXAN News.